Yeah. Life is bittersweet. Hey. They say my life is bittersweet. Oh. Look, wave. Tapped in. Lately my life had a fast man, but it's ass plan. Fight for my life with the brass hand.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Talk Podcast with your boy Dustin Calloway. Yes, we are here. I don't know if this is going to be a quick hit or if it's just going to be something that's going to be extended. I don't know. Everything might move to quick hits. So yeah, I've been missing for a while. Took a little bit of time off, and I'm gonna be real brief with this one though. So I took a little time off because honestly, I have so much stuff going on, right? So I want to say a little bit over a month ago, I decided to hit the stage and start doing my comedy. So I've been going every Thursday to open mic night to perform and just perfect my craft. And I'm getting real comfortable with it. And then also, you just got life, man. So right now I work a 9-to-5 job. I'm still working my 9-to-5, just like everybody else. You know, I'm still a business owner on the side, still trying to figure that thing out. But, you know, when you start going through so much shit, man, like with work, and you don't want to work at your job no more, and you trying to get to another job and stuff like that. Then you still got the home stuff that you're dealing with. You got your business stuff that you're dealing with. Got your comedy stuff that I'm dealing with. You know, it's just so much stuff going on where it's like, okay, I hit this wall where I was like, oh my God, man, like everything became a little overwhelming. And this has happened multiple times, but I'm at a point now where I'm just trying to, not trying to, but I'm actively figuring this thing out, man. So as you can see, I got my paintings and stuff behind me. These are all for sale. And again, that's another part of what I do. It's just, just so much stuff just kind of hits you, and it's like, oh God. And then you start thinking about the future and how you want your future to look. And, I think what the issue is with a whole lot of us is we get to this, we have these ideas up here where we see the bright side, right? We see that other side, right? The success, but everything in us will push us back every time we get to that edge where it'll be like, let's just say fear. Fear will push us back, and it'll kind of make us, blow off some of the stuff that we need to really start focusing on. And I can say that's been happening to me. Like everything I know I need to be doing, it's easy to just be like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. I'm sorry. And I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, no, I'll do it the next day. I'll do it the next day. Even like with this podcast, man. I could have been filming. But again, like I said, it was so much going on where it was like, oh, God, setting up different, episodes with my guests that I was having on, my boy Kerry, my boy Devon, my boy Ivor. Like it was just so much going on when you got to try to navigate everything and kind of get people days and stuff like that set up to figure out when we can shoot this or that, blah, 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 editing, all that stuff. This is everything that I literally handle on my own. Literally everything that I do, I handle on my own, for real. Like everything that I do on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I do all this on my own. Whenever these videos, when I record them, I get them off my camera, editing, I do it all. On my own, still with the 9-to-5, still trying, working my business on the side, just trying to figure out creative ways to push my business out there even more, which is traderslearningcircle.com. If you want to learn how to trade, head over there. I'll teach you everything from the ground level all the way to when you become a live trader. Again, that's traderslearningcircle.com. Yeah, so I got a lot going on, man, a whole lot. And for those of you that's out there hustling and you grinding, hey, keep going, keep hustling, keep grinding, and just keep pushing forward, man, because it's easy. It's real easy to just like kind of sit back and be like, I'll do it tomorrow. Don't even wait for tomorrow, man, because that's what I was doing with my comedy. Like the whole idea behind me doing comedy, period, was it wasn't to just strictly stay on YouTube, and strictly stay on Instagram and social media doing it. Like, nah, that was never the plan. The plan was actually to start off acting, do some movies, which I did. And before I go forward with that, I'm going to go ahead and shout the movies out. I did a movie called Here to Collect. That's on YouTube. Just type in Here to Collect on YouTube and it'll pop up. I'm in that movie. And I did another movie called Common Creed. That is available on Amazon Prime. You can see it there. It's called Common Creed. What else was I in? I was in another movie, the Judas and the Black Messiah. I didn't. You're not gonna see me there, but I got a check for it. I was and doing some extra work there. But this is all stuff that came about just putting myself out there, right? Not being afraid. At first, I was afraid. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I got to that edge, and I was like, then you start blowing people off, right? Because that's what I started doing. I got to that edge, and I started blowing people off. Like, nah, all right, I'll be there. No, I got something to do, and then you just come up with just shit that you ain't got to do. Like one person I want to apologize to on the record. Her name is Melanice. She runs she's a playwright. She creates plays. She has a business where she teaches people how to act, and she creates plays, and she puts people in plays, and she teaches people how to, do open mic and stuff like that, like how to, stage perform. And I had an opportunity with her, a paid opportunity. I'm not gonna say it was free, but to basically teach me how to get on the stage. But that was another one of my excuses that I was making for myself, right? Like acting like I didn't know how to get on stage and just talk. So I reached out to her, asking her to help me figure out, with my stage performance, which I really didn't need, honestly, because what I'm learning about this whole comedy game is, man, you got to get out there when you ready to perform, right? And you ready to just get up and talk in front of people, period. Just public speaking. It don't matter whether it's comedy or you just got to talk in front of a group of people at your cookout, at a funeral, wherever, in front of business people on, at a corporate event. Honestly, man, you just got to get up there and do it. And you're going to be nervous at first, like I was. I was real nervous. I'm talking about, man, listen, my first comedy bit, the first thing I said when I got up there, and this was real life, I said, hey, thank y'all for coming out, welcome, to the, this is my first time up here doing this. My butthole right now is doing this. That's the first thing I said to people on the stage. And I got some laughs out of it, but it was real. Like I was up there on stage like, oh, damn. I thought I was about to really like shit on myself for real because it was scary, man. Now, I've been up 3 times already. And this coming week on Thursday, I'm going up again. This is going to be number 4 for me. And I'm just getting comfortable with it now. Honestly, I'm getting comfortable with it. Like I know T.I. has said something about like comedy is easy. And I think the reason why he said comedy is easy is because, and I get where he's coming from, but comedy is not easy because when you're talking in front of a bunch of people and they don't laugh, that's not easy, right? So now in your mind, you're going to either push forward or you're going to just keep bombing and it's going to get worse and worse and worse and it's going to get awkward, right? So you got to stand there and just be like, wait for that light to hit you, for them to let you know you got a minute left and then you just kind of just bomb and die out. Or you can flip that shit around and make something out of it, right? So T.I. saying that comedy is easy, me personally, I feel like he's only saying that because he's coming from a place of, I'm a rapper. I've been rapping and performing on stages for years, right? So it's easy for him to come out there. Shit, I perform raps in front of people. I talk on stage in front of people before I rap a song. So that's easy to him. But you know what comes with comedy? Funny. Funny has to come behind your talking, right? So that's what I'm starting to figure out now. Just figuring out, okay, first, here's lesson 1 for me. Lesson 1 for me when I got on that stage. And I really didn't plan on this episode being about all of this. And I'll get to what I want to talk about in a minute. Or I might just really talk about where I've been and just keep going with this. But takeaways, right, from me. When I first hit the stage, I kind of lost train of thought a little bit. But T.I. said it was easy, and I don't think it's easy. I think it's easy to him because, like I said, he rapped and he performed in front of people on stage for years. But again, funny has to come behind that. So my experience going up there, like my very first time, I was super nervous, man. But like I said, the more I can see one side of what T.I. was saying, because I think the more you go up, the more comfortable you get, right? So a takeaway for me, what I'm starting to learn now. My first lesson was, okay, when you get up there, make sure you got something to say and don't be all over the place, right? Just have a consistent set and run with it, whether they laugh or not. Cool. Second thing that I learned when I performed, I actually performed 4 times now that I think about it, I did. So the second thing I learned, right? This was a totally different club. Scope out the room. Know your room, right? Know your audience. Not saying that you got to go up to people, hey, how you doing? How you doing? No, look at them. Look and see who's in the room. That's what I had to learn, and I learned that the hard way my second time up. I had a set worked out, and it was at a little, I guess people would call it a hood spot. It wasn't hood to me. Yeah, it was. Let me stop, man. That shit was hood. It wasn't raggedy on the inside, I'll say that. But it was like the event was kind of hood, and it was a karaoke night, right? That's another lesson, right? But the major lesson that I learned from my second experience was learn your room and play to your room. And that's what I didn't do. I had a whole set. The crazy part is when I got there, I had a whole set mapped out for this room that I didn't even know was going to be there, right? And the set fit perfectly with the room that actually was there, but I changed it at the last minute, right? I don't know why. I think I changed it because of where I was. I was looking around. I'm like, I'm in the hood a little bit. I'm like, wait, in the hood. So I'm thinking in my mind, if I talk about something like this, and it's a personal experience of mine, I'm like, oh, this shit gonna kill. Nah, that don't mean nothing. You can be in the hood, right? You could be in a hood spot, but if you look around in that room once the show get going, and you see a bunch of females in the audience, that shit no longer applies. And that's where I dropped the bomb. Because I was talking about some stuff on the stage that I knew a bunch of dudes was going to feel. And my bad, I knew a bunch of dudes was going to feel. Right? And that's where it went wrong, because the women was kind of sitting there like, okay, when are we going to be able to relate? And it was never anything for them to relate to. So that's the second thing that I learned. Don't change up your set. You got to play to your room. Play to the audience, right? So I knew that going into my third performance, right, at another spot, right? And when I went to this next spot, it was kind of like, all right, here's another lesson. I knew how to play to the room, right? I knew that when I was at the next spot. So I was in there like, all right, I'm playing to the room. I'm good. It's another level to playing to the room, right? It's black and white. I'm not even playing. It's black and white. And when I say black and white, it's black and white people. Black and white people makes a difference, right? When you playing to your room. So I was in a room. This time it was a bunch of men in there. So I'm thinking to myself, I got a man set. This one is cool. I'm gonna be cool. Men gonna feel this one. Nope. I got a few chuckles, but it was more so if I was talking in a black man room, right, with more black men, think I would have been cool, because that's what that set was geared to, right? So this is the next lesson that I learned. Learn what type of room to play that you plan to, right? You're performing in front of, and the color of that room. I'm dead serious, man. Anybody can tell you, man. Like if you go to a comedy event and it's a bunch of white people there, right? And it's a bunch of white dudes. You talking about hood shit, they probably not even gonna laugh because they can't relate. See what I'm saying? They can't relate. Or some of them just may not like have that same experience as you. Like I'm just being real. Like a lot of the black experience, a lot of the white people in the area that you in probably ain't never been through that shit. So they probably not gonna be able to feel it, right? So, and I'm just being serious, right? Like I said, you play into a room, right? Say if you go to a white suburb, the bar or club is in a white suburb. 9 times out of 10, a lot of those people in that white suburb that's going to be there probably don't have your experience. They probably don't. Maybe a few of them do. So those are the people you might get the few chuckles out of because they understand it, right? So that was my next experience, right? The black and white room. So that one week when I went up, it was kind of like, okay, they was like, damn, okay. I'm like, all right. So I went home. I got back to the pad. And I started working out more material for that next week that was coming up. And that next week it worked because I figured out, okay, I know what type of people gonna be in this room. And this is all me learning all this stuff is from watching a bunch of great comedians that I love over the years, man, and listening to them talk and dropping a lot of knowledge, like Speedy Caldwell, that's Jamie Foxx's best friend, listening to Jamie Foxx tell stories about, his experience, Godfrey Danjuma, him talking about his experience. Like, this is a lot of stuff that I'm learning on the fly, but I'm actually hearing it from them, right? I'm hearing it from them, and I'm taking what they saying, and I'm like, all right, let me just go out here and fill it out for myself. So I'm not creating myself based off what they said. I still have it stored up here, but I got to go on my own journey with this, right? So when I went up and I did my set the following week, I went back to that same spot, and I did my set. And this time, I was able to hook them because I was like, okay, I talked about some stuff that I knew these people in this room that was damn near the same people from the week before were all back. I said, I know how to get them now because I know what they're looking for. So I geared my set to towards something that we all can relate to, right? Black and white and whoever else. And I found my laughers in the room. And those are the people that I went to, and I played my set right off them because I know if you get them to laugh, other people will laugh. And that set it helped me out a lot. It helped me out a lot. But unfortunately, I ended up getting caught a little cold. And I ain't catching no cold or nothing like that. I caught a little cold. And I got bad allergies, right? So the following Thursday, I didn't go, which was this past Thursday. I didn't go perform. And I was ready to because I knew that going back, it was one particular part in my set that everybody loved. So I'm like, okay, when I go back, I'm going to play this next set off of where I left off last week, right? And another lesson that I'm learning, right, that I keep hearing a lot of different people say, they say, don't always have a new set, right? When you go up there, don't come with a new set. And I believe that to be true, kind of, right? Like they said, always go back and work on your same set because you want to get a solid 5 minutes. I'm like, all right, that's cool. I get that. But me, I can remember faces, right? I can. I'm not good with names, but if I see somebody like one time, 2 times, I'm going to know that I saw you before. So when I see you again, I'm like, oh, I saw you before. You was here last time. So that's what I recognize about the room that I've been going to on these Thursdays. These past 2 Thursdays that I went, it was like the same people in the room. So I'm like, I know that I'm not going to come back here and work the same set on the same people that I saw before. So that's where I don't agree with working on your material, right? You working on the same set because I'm going to tell you where that went wrong for a couple people that went up on stage the last Thursday I was there. I was one of the people that was there those past 2 Thursdays when they did their previous sets. And they kind of said some of the same material, like everything wasn't 100% the same, but they said some of the same jokes that they said the past 2 weeks. So I'm like, nah, that ain't gonna work in a room like this where the same people keep coming back to the same place. It's not gonna work because when you hear that same joke, and to me, I hear it. I'm like, oh, I know you talked about that the last time. It's like a story, right? You can remember the story, or it don't even matter if it's like well, what did the farmer say to it don't matter. If I hear it one time, I know when you're going to say it, when you said it again. Now, and I know this to be true, because what I do, like when I watch certain comedians, right? And this is why I don't go see certain comedians at comedy clubs, and I'm just being real. Like some of your big time comedians, right? And this is why I respect and I love Kevin Hart. Like, even though people may not think that some of his stuff is funny now, right, or whatever. That's cool. Feel how you want to feel. And maybe it's not. Oh, well, somebody laughing. Okay, that's cool. They like it. Those are his new fans. But when you, like, put it like this, I went to go see Lavelle Crawford. Not Lavelle Crawford, but Bruce, right? And for years, I've been a huge Bruce fan. And when I went to go see him at the Improv, I'm thinking, okay, Bruce about to show up and show out. Yeah, he did. But I'm a huge fan of comedy. So I'm talking about I'll go into YouTube, type in Bruce bits, right? Comedy, just snippets or just Bruce period, and it'll bring up everything that he's ever done on comedy, right? So I'm hearing all his jokes and they funny as hell. I'm dying while I'm at work watching them or listening to them, or I'm listening to them on Spotify or something like that. But when they come to town, this is where it goes bad for me, because that same material that I've been listening to for years, they do it again at the Improv when I didn't pay the the tickets or whatever to come to the show. So it's like, damn, that's where it gets thrown off for me. Like, I know you're doing a set, and maybe a lot of the people in the room probably haven't heard these jokes before, but some of the jokes that I was hearing when he was doing them, I heard them years ago. So I'm like, a majority of these people in this room had to have heard these jokes too. So that's where I think it goes bad when we start talking about, keep working on your set, keep working on your set. All right, that's cool. But at what point do you say, I'm going to just make sure when I start floating around, I'm going to start using different sets. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I get it. There are millions of people, on the earth. And everybody ain't going to hear everything. But when you somebody like me who, I love comedy, man. And if I like you enough to come to your show, trust me, I'm going to look up everything that you talk about. I'm going to search you up and down YouTube. I'm looking through Spotify and all that. So I end up kind of ruining it for myself, because when I do see those sets, I be like, and I'm at the actual comedy club, I just kind of sit there like, man, because I don't know too many jokes. Like, I hear some jokes, like, it's certain people that I can hear their jokes. It don't matter how many times I hear them, I'm going to laugh every time, right? But then you got those other people that when I hear the joke the first time, I feel like, that's crazy. But I hear it again, I'm probably not going to laugh. I might just chuckle just to, not seem like the dude in the room that just be sitting there just. Because that's how I be feeling on the inside when I do hear the same jokes over and over. I be like. But to get back to why I do different sets every week at this certain spot is because, again, when I go to this place, the people there are the same people there every week. Maybe a few more people, but I'm playing to the crowd, right? And if I know that this is a regular spot where the same people come back to, I'm doing a new set every week. So this coming Thursday, I'm going back to the same spot. It's called Hatfields, and it's on Lorraine Avenue in Cleveland, Ohio. So I will be there on Thursday doing a set, and it's going to be a different set. It's going to play off of what I said, not this past Thursday, but the Thursday before. I'm going to tie a little bit of that back in there, but it's still going to be a different set. And I'm pretty positive that this set is going to work in the room also, because, again, I'm tying in a bunch of experiences that I know a bunch of different people can relate to. So, yeah, man, that's what I'm looking forward to coming up. And I hate that I don't hate it, but I'm sorry that I was long-winded on this one. But hopefully y'all stick with me through the rest of this video, because I do have a topic that I want to cover, but I don't know. Should I cover it or should I wrap it up and just call this video Where I've Been? Where I've Been update. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I might end it here. I got a few more minutes, maybe 7 minutes before I have to decide. But yeah, so that's where I've been. I'm just gonna keep it like this. That's where I've been, man. Life comes at you, and I'm not one of those people, like I've said before on a different episode. I can't ignore the stuff that I go through in life, right? I can't just sit back and pretend like, oh, it's easy, to tell people to push through it, because I tell people to push through it all the time. But it's a certain level that some people may get to, and they be like, all right, look here, man. Like, pushing through it ain't even an option no more, man. And once you get to that point where you're like, man, I can't push through it no more, man, and you actually got to take action and do something about your circumstances, that's when sometimes you have to take a break, man. Fall back, get everything realigned, take care of this, take care of that, and just then you can move forward, right? So my biggest thing right now for me is, honestly, my biggest thing, and I'm just going to keep it 1,000 it's my job. And I'm not saying that I don't have a job. I still have a job, but I've been there for 14 years. And I'm at the point now where it's like, I can no longer be there. I can no longer pretend that everything is okay. No, I can't do it. I cannot do it. And for real, I just feel like my back is against the wall, man. And I'll just like to keep it real with everybody on my podcast, man. Like a couple months ago, man, we got an email, let's just say from a higher up, on accident, right, at work. And in that email, the people on my team, me and the people on my team were referred to as a bunch of dummies because a process was explained to us a certain way, right? Telling us to do something just like this, right? We all took it literally and we did it just like we were told to, right? As instructed. And the person that told us to do it didn't like it, and made a mistake and sent out the email where they had a conversation about us in it to us, calling us a bunch of dummies and telling us that we was gonna have to redo it all over again. Not telling us directly, but telling the person that they were talking to, like, we need to send this back to them to redo it. I knew they would get this wrong, a bunch of dummies, right? So now I have to go. I really do. Because how do you sit up there and you smile, right? How do you sit up there and you, How do you sit up and fake smile with somebody who really referred to you as a dummy, right? And even though disciplinary action was taken, was taken, I guess, how do you move forward, right? And pretend that you really want to talk to somebody and fake laugh with somebody on the phone in a meeting that really thinks you're a dummy. Because that's me personally, man. If I call somebody a dummy, which I don't call people dummies. Like, everybody got their own things in life that they good at. You know what I'm saying? And just because I'm good at this and you not, don't mean that you're a dummy. It just means that you're not good at that, right? Because you may be good at something that I'm not good at. Does that make me a dummy too? No, it doesn't, right? So how do you sit up there and pretend, right, with somebody who really thinks you're dumb? How do you do that? I see people doing it all the time, right? They just kind of play the game like, everything is cool, but it's not cool, man. Like, I'm talking about my soul hurts every day when I got to sit in there and pretend like everything is okay. And it's like you work at a place where you feel like it's like nothing you can do. It's like you can't call the cops. And honestly, for them to allow that person to stay on, I'm just like, man, that's crazy to me. And I even had a conversation where I said, man, had that been me, I had a conversation with somebody really important. I said, had that been me saying that in the email, and it came from me, just a regular worker, I wouldn't be here anymore. No, it wouldn't have played out like that. Come on, man. Let's just be for real. Yes, it would have. It would have. And let's not talk about retaliation, because that's what came next, right? Because that person did get turned in, but all of a sudden, everybody on our team is all of a sudden, out of all these years, oh, you're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. You're doing that wrong. Come on, man. All of a sudden, your QC go from maybe looking at 4 to 7 items a month to looking at 30 plus items between everybody, right? Is that not retaliation? Okay, yeah, y'all told on me? Because that's what it was. Y'all told on me? Even though I know I was wrong and I had to apologize. Oh, they made me apologize on the phone with y'all? Oh, okay, I'll find a different way to get y'all back. That's retaliation, man. So it's like when you feel like your back is against the wall and ain't nothing you can do, it's like, okay, what do? Because that's literally what it is now. It's like you can tell that everybody on our team, they are literally trying to find a way to get rid of us all now. And I'm not going to say everybody is. It's just that particular person. You can feel it. You can feel it. They getting involved in stuff that they ain't never been involved with. And they've been getting it wrong, too. I'm talking about getting it wrong. Messed up, like our past QC. Messed it up bad, right? And then had to come back and say, I'm sorry again. I made a mistake on this and I made a mistake on that. So I'll erase that from your QC. Come on, man. This is all retaliation. Never been involved in the QC, but now you are. Come on, man. So that has been my biggest issue, man. My biggest issue. Because it's not like we have a union or anything that we can work through. No, it's just a private owned company where, people can just take that power and flex with it however they see fit. It's a lot of this is just from years of experience. It's a lot of friend. I got to look out for my friend type of stuff going on in there. I'm going to bump my friends up to the top if I want to. Or somebody that may be in leadership on a lower level may have a friend on the highest level possible looking out for them on the backside. So it's like, it don't matter what they do to you, and you go let them know, like, this person been doing this to me for years. They don't do nothing about it. So it's like, that's where I am now, man. You just kind of be like, you just get tired and you just like, okay, I'm done. I just can't do this no more. So it's like you gotta, throw away everything that you worked on for years, just to start over from scratch somewhere else. I'm not gonna lie, man. I should have left years ago. Should have just got my stuff together, packed it up, and left years ago. But it was a bunch of little things hanging over me that I kind of allowed to keep me trapped, right? And I'm not gonna lie, let's just keep it real, because I like to keep it real on my podcast. But this is what a lot of dudes go through. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of dudes that I know, like, they'll stay at a job because they may be on child support, right? Maybe on child support, or they may have caught a little misdemeanor case or something while they was working at their job. So they'll allow that stuff because they don't, not lack of knowledge, man, sometimes on, stuff that you have control over, right? That, or certain things you can do to push you on different levels. But some people, and that includes me, but some people allow stuff like that to keep them trapped. And we can even talk about in relationships. That's why a lot of dudes stay in relationships too. Like, they may have a baby with a girl and they say it's easier for me to just stay here with her versus leaving and her putting me on child support. Just like with a job, man. So you stay at a job because you may have a kid or 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids. And you figure, man, listen, I already got a good thing going here. They already taking child support out here with this kid. So it's just easier to just stay, man, because I run the risk of, if I go to another job, I may take a pay cut or whatever. But honestly, that's just another excuse for, that's that fear thing that I was talking about earlier in the show. You just allow that fear to control you, man. I know that I have value, right, in the workplace. I really do. And again, ultimately, my goal is not to continue on this path of being a 9-to-5 worker. That is not my goal. But in the meantime, in between time, I will be a 9-to-5 worker until one of my projects blow me out the door. Again, back to my paintings. Buy them. Send me a DM. Put a comment down below in the video and let me know if you want to buy them. Let's just say that they're starting at $25 each. Okay? Just had to plug that in there again one more time. But yeah, when you let that 9-to-5 life control you, man, and you kind of allow certain perks at work to control you, or stuff outside of work like your kids and stuff to control your destiny, man. I think that's what keep a lot of us trapped. And I'm not saying that I'm gonna quit my job and just say forget, looking out for my kids and stuff like that. I have 2 daughters, but no, that's not the thing. But I think when it all started for me, put it like this, let's go back. When it all started for me, I had my daughter when I was young, man. I was 19 years old, like going on 20. And when she was born, man, I was like, I didn't know what to do, for real. Honestly, I didn't. Like, before her, I was young, and I'm talking about dumb, dude. Like, just dumb. Didn't have no idea. And the crazy part is I had an idea, but I blocked it out because, when dudes be falling in love young, man, you make some of the dumbest mistakes ever, man. And I'm not saying that my daughter was a mistake, because she wasn't. Me and her mom were both dumb. We really wanted to try to have a kid together when we was together. But it was a dumb mistake because neither one of us was thinking like, man, this ain't going to be hard, man. We wasn't thinking about that, or just working and daycares and stuff like that. You don't think about that, right? So when I was young and dumb, we popped out a baby. I popped out my little love, and it was automatically just downhill struggle. I'm not even lying. Downhill struggle from there. For one, she was on assistance, right? So for those of you, if you young and you're watching this video, I don't know about how it works out now, but I know this is how it worked for me. When she was born, I went to the hospital. I signed a birth certificate. The child support people walked in immediately. As soon as I signed on the dotted line, this is my kid. I signed another form for child support, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, the next job I got, as soon as I got a job, child support was automatically coming out. And I wasn't making nothing. I'm talking about, dude, I was working at a nursing home making $7.50 an hour. Yes. And they was taking child support off of that. Had a $387 car note, not even including insurance. My insurance was $60 for full coverage. So you do the math on that. Child support, rent, utilities, man, all types of stuff, man. So, and then you got your kid. You got to take care of your kid. And then here's the killer part for me. It went bad between me and her mom, right? So everything that we had together, like our apartment, all types of stuff, that was all gone. So I was out here on my own, had to figure it out. Had to go back home to mom and dad house, my parents. And I love my parents because they will always let me come back. Even today, if something was to go wrong right now for me today, and I ain't even gonna lie, like me and my parents and, my family, we ain't seeing eye to eye right now at all. But one thing that I do love about my family, you could pick up that phone right now and they there. So that's why I love my family. Do we see eye to eye? No, we don't. But again, you could pick up that phone, boom, 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 and get it handled. But to go back to that struggle, man, being young and dumb, it made life hard. So it was kind of like that struggle that it was a never-ending struggle, right? That just kept going forward. And eventually I landed up. But eventually, when my daughter was born, put it like this is how long I've been in my job. Fast forward, my daughter was born. I was struggling at this job because I needed more money. So I left that job after a few years and I got to some more money. And then that job, something happened at that job and I needed more money though because bills were coming due. And I was sitting there on the phone like, man, falling behind on my car note, falling behind on my insurance. It was just bad all around. So I was just like, man, I got to figure this out, man. What am I going to do? So I went to another job. And I believe I ended up landing at AAA, right? Working at AAA. And I'm thinking, okay, I'll be cool. Because I got this job at AAA. AAA going to be cool, right? Hell no. That wasn't cool because it still wasn't enough money to keep moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just another struggle. And then the hours were terrible. So it was kind of like, I wasn't making the money that I wanted to make. And then the hours was terrible. So it's like I couldn't live a life outside of that. It was just like a constant struggle, man. So again, when I was there, I had to get on my grind again. Like, damn, everything, like I said, it's a build up. It's a constant struggle. Downhill, downhill, downhill. Until you get to that place where you think it's like, oh, I made it. But really you like, man, hell no. When you fast forward, you realize, no, you have not made shit. It's just something that is better than the shit that you had before. So you think you succeeded, but you really didn't. So then, boom, I land at, while I'm at AAA thinking everything cool, thinking that this is good money. This is when I had to have that wake-up call to realize that, okay, my parents didn't tell me some shit when I was growing up, because I never had to really deal with, any harsh situations when it came to dealing with white people, right? And this was like my first major experience with somebody that was a little fucked up, right? So then eventually, I ain't even gonna go into that story. It's just whatever. But eventually, another downhill struggle, because it was like, okay, I made a little bit of money, a little bit of a pay increase, a little bit, right? But then it was like, damn, I was in a shitty relationship at that time. The bills got bigger, right? Because this is what happens, right? In relationships, your bills increase, right? Especially when you and somebody else move together and they got kids too, your bills go up. So that's what I didn't think. I let the love and that relationship shit cloud what I really should have been doing. But again, it was another experience that I needed to happen in my life. So I was at another job, AAA, had a spot, more bills, 2 car notes now, 2 insurances now. So it was like, damn, I just made another situation where I was on my way up. I took myself down even further. So I was just like, shit. So eventually, fast forward, I'm like, nah, I'm not going to keep on going through this shit. So ended that relationship, applied for 1,000 jobs, and eventually, who called me back? 14 years ago, the job that I'm at now. They called me. So I go in there. They gave me way more than what I was making at AAA. Man, I'm not even gonna say way more, probably like $2 or $3 more. But it was more than what I was making, right? So I was just like, oh man, finally. And I get there, I liked the company, everything was cool, and it was beautiful. It was. I'm not gonna lie to you. There was a point in time where I work now was beautiful. And rest in peace to the person who made it that way. But it was beautiful, man. But eventually, as time went on, I was just kind of like, man, damn, I need more money. So to put it like this, fast forward 6 positions later, 6 different jobs internally later, I landed where I am now. Yeah, I landed where I am now. And over all that time, though, being there, I built up this thing called PTO. And this is where the trap came in. So you build up this PTO, you get these decent benefits, right? And then you get this flexibility from somebody that kind of lets you just, I'm not going to say do what you want to do, but when you need to be off, and say, for instance, if I went in tomorrow, Monday, and I said, hey, I need to be off next week, not this week, but next week for the whole week. All right, approved. Yeah, like short notice. Or if I need to be off for 2 weeks, start a week from now. Approved. So that's the type of stuff that I allowed on top of, knowing that I had to stay here for the sake of my kids, just to, make sure this child support is staying paid up and stuff like that. So I let all those things trap me in this position that I'm in now, where it was like, I let it all blind me, right? And then I didn't realize until I saw somebody else leave. Then I saw somebody else leave, and other people leave, and they just start talking about how much money they was making outside of this place. And I'm like, they was like, look, you'll make way more money if you leave, because what you do right now, you're way underpaid. And I'm just like, damn, that's crazy. And I got way more experience than all of them. Well, not all of them, but most of them. So I was just like, damn, that's crazy, man. So I'm at a point now where the blinders are off. And I guess I'm telling y'all this story about my journey, just, so that if you are going through the same thing that I'm going through right now, don't put it off. Don't blow it off. Don't blow off how you feel. Because it's easy to do that, right? It's easy to blow off how you feel, right? And just kind of get settled in to that little soft, that little warm spot, right? Where they give you the PTO, where you're getting over 3 weeks and something, maybe a month or something in PTO time. And, like the benefits is cool. The flexibility is cool, but you're miserable as hell. I'm telling you. Don't keep putting it off, because you do not want to end up where I am. I'm talking about, look, I'll tell you, even like last week, man, all last week, I was kind of just sitting around the house, just moping, just like feeling down. And that's another part of the reason why I haven't been putting up any podcasts or anything like that either, because it's like when you get down, man, you know, like, look, man, if you've ever been there before, you know what I'm talking about, man. When you get in that spot where you like, shit, like I just need something to change. You know what I'm talking about, man. That's why I haven't been putting up anything. I haven't really been posting on none of my, my podcast. I mean, none of my social media, links or nothing like that. The most that I've done, and this took a lot of shit out of me. Hit the stage and do comedy. That took a lot out of me though, because, like when I do this at home and I'm filming these podcasts and stuff like that, the easiest thing to do is what I'm doing right now. There's no one here around me right now. No one in here. Down there, nobody's sitting over there. It's just me in this room, right? So all I'm doing is talking to a camera. And once I edit all this stuff and put it up online, all right, maybe 14 people will see it. So, but I don't have to talk to those 14 people right now. They could just hear me talk and stop it and cut it off whenever they want to. But when I hit that stage, to go back to that's another thing that I realized, that it's a different type of drainage. I'll say that. When you got to sit there and deal with that social anxiety that I was dealing with, where you like always on edge and like it's this, you just feel jittery, and you just like, even when I would come off the stage, I'll just be like, oh God, I got the jitters, and I need to decompress when I come off the stage. And sometimes when I first did it, I thought I would be able to decompress and like just deal with it like within a couple hours. But no, I didn't even realize that this shit has been piling up on me. Like every time I perform, I'm like on edge when I'm done, because I film everything. I film it all. And what I'll do is I'll drop it on social media like a clip or snippet or whatever, and that shit'll set me right back on edge. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't realize that a lot of why I stopped doing this stuff too, and I was putting some of this off, is because I was still recovering from that shock of getting on that stage. You know what I'm saying? So that's another reason why this all had to take a break. But I'm trying my best. I'm going to try my best to drop an episode every week, man, going forward. I'm going to try my best. I'm not going to promise y'all a guest. I'm not, because again, like that's a lot of stuff to try to navigate all the time. Maybe when we all just hang out on the regular, I think I'll just film, on location with them wherever we are. But to navigate it and try to get everybody over here on time and doing this and doing that, it's a lot of work. Not saying that I'm looking for the easy way out, but again, I need to do what's best for me. Because again, hitting that stage is a whole nother level. But again, as far as my job, that has been another major part. So performing on stage while going through this shit at work at the same time, man, listen. Because it's hard, because for one, when I'm on stage, I could just be myself, right? When I'm in the room just talking, I could be myself. I'm starting to feel more comfortable in that, right? But when you go to work, you can't really be yourself. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know this. You can't really be yourself, especially when you know you got some tension with you and somebody else, that it ain't just a regular employee, right? So if I had beef with somebody at work and it's just you regular just like me, man, shut up, man. Don't talk to me no more. But when you're in a position where you can't say that to the person who is above you, that's where I am now. That ball that sits in your chest where you like, man, damn, I can't do nothing about this, but I need to do something about this. So that on top of me hitting the stage and still trying to deal with the initial shock of performing in front of people, whew, I'm finding it, y'all. And then don't get me wrong, you got your home life too, right? You still got your home life stuff. And I'm not going to pretend and say that everything is 1,000% good. No. You still got your home life that you got to deal with. So it's like you got all this stuff just weighing on you, man. And the one thing that I've learned is don't stuff your feelings anymore. Like if you need to go talk to somebody, go talk to somebody. Like, I have my few people that I talk to about, stuff when I be going through stuff. And I'm happy that I have that, because like the situation with me and my family, like I'm just going to be real with y'all. Like I'm not even going to pretend. I don't want to pretend for social media, because we got enough people out there doing that already. Just pretending like everything is beautiful. That's the majority of the people on social media now. They just pretend like everything in life is just so beautiful. We going on trips here and trips there. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Like I don't want to be that person that got to save up to go on trips. I'm not trying to be that person. Like, no, I just want to have cash to the point where it's like, we going out of town next week. I ain't saving up. I don't want to save up. If I need to save up to go on a trip, bruh, I'm just not going. I'd rather just keep my money and just keep saving it and investing in something that's going to bring me money that I ain't got to keep on worrying about saving up money to go do stuff or recovering funds. You know, like, I'm just not going to be that social media type of person. But the situation with me and my family right now, like my real family, it's messed up right now. And the only way that we can get back to where we need to be as a family, and I know I'm talking about a few different things. I'm still on track with what I'm talking about, though. Where I've been with my comedy, with my, with the podcast and my journey that I've been on. Work life, right? Work life struggles. And now I'm going to go into this for the last part of the show. But the issues, man, with my family, the only way that we can fix the issues with me and my family. I'm talking about mom, dad, my brothers, and my sister. And I'll even throw my cousin in there because he was a part of our family growing up. The only way that we can fix our problems, as a unit, is if everybody come to the table and allow, and I'm just telling you right now, this is the only way. You have to allow people to be who they are and not try to change them into what you want them to be. Because that's not how life works, right? I can offer you some advice. That's cool. Or if we talking, I'll give you my point of view on something. And that's cool. You give me your point of view, and that's cool. But if I don't agree with your point of view, that's okay. If you don't agree with my point of view, that's fine. You don't have to. But just because we keep talking about it back and forth and it gets a little intense, still, I'm still going to walk away with my point of view, and you're going to walk away with yours, right? But that's what we allow to keep fucking dividing us. Different points of views on shit. I may not care about marriage the same way that you do, brother. That's cool. You may care about it. That's fine. But I don't have to care about it the same way that you do. You know that's cool, right? You know it's cool, right? Or however you feel about how you raise your kids. That's cool. That's your program. That's why they called your kids. And the way that I raise my kids, that's why they called my kids, because they're mine. You see what I'm saying? I think that's where a lot of people go wrong with shit, man. All we do is we sit in these boxes with each other and we talk about different points of views on a whole bunch of shit that we all believe in personally. And let somebody not agree with somebody else in a room. You find a certain group, and then don't let the people that say, if I say something, it's 6 of us in a room, and I say something to 5 of y'all because I'm the 6th person, right? And y'all 5 say something back to me, and y'all don't agree with what I'm saying, but all 5 of y'all agree. You can't kick that one person to the curb or look at them crazy or not invite them around no more because that one person don't agree with what the 5 of y'all agreed on. Or even if it's 4 against 2, it's okay to disagree, right? That's healthy. If everybody sat around always agreeing on the same shit, where would we be? Huh? Where would we be? You got to be able to get in a room with people, have a conversation with them, and not look down on them because they feel a certain way, right? About whatever it is. And again, another thing, you can't tell someone or expect somebody to express how they feel about something that happened in their life. You can't tell them how to express it, right? Whether it's on here, which is a video on YouTube, or if it's face to face. See, what a lot of people need to understand about me is I keep telling people over and over, I do this podcast for a reason. Some of you people out there in this world, you think we have forever. We don't have forever on earth. We don't have forever. And guess what? Everybody don't read books. Everybody not out here studying books and saying, damn, I need to study this book because I want to learn this and I want to learn that. No, some people love to watch videos and they learn from videos. Like Dr. Umar Johnson. He said a lot of stuff that people don't agree with, but some of the stuff he said, a lot of stuff that people do agree with. You can watch him and learn a whole lot real quick. And he'll give you some stuff that he'll say it to you. It'll make you want to go research some stuff, right? But we're not here forever, right? So this is my way of not only really giving my family giving y'all an understanding of who I am now. I ain't the same person, but also I'm leaving something behind for somebody that may be going through something similar to me, right? Don't write me off and make it seem like I need to go seek help. I don't need to go seek help. Do I sound crazy the way I'm talking right now? No, I'm talking about real shit that happens. I'm talking about real shit that happens, man. Which a lot of people try to avoid all the time, man. All the time. We got to stop doing this, man. We got to stop trying to control people and trying to get everybody to just align and agree with one person. No. If somebody disagree with you, it don't mean that they just want to be the difficult person in there. No, maybe that person just thinks differently. You ever thought about that? And that's what people fail to realize. Everybody don't think the same. That herd mentality, everybody don't have the same. And this is not a knock to say that all y'all got this herd mentality. That's not what I'm trying to say to y'all. But you have look, put it like this. You have weak people in this world and you have strong people. And that's just how life is. You got some weak people that'll just fold and they'll just go with the flow. But then you have others that'll hear somebody say something or they'll see something and they'll question it. I used to be the weak person that didn't question shit. I just kind of went with the flow, like, all right, that's what we doing, family. All right, cool, family, we doing this. But now I'm not that person. I'm not that person anymore. I've always been analytical. I always sat back and looked. I thought what I think now, but I didn't put action behind it, right? I just kind of went with the, all right, well, what are we doing? All right, cool, that's cool, that's cool. Now I'm just not that person, man. I'm sorry, I'm not that person, because you know what I can always tie this all back, wrap it all up in? Let's go back to the beginning. What was I talking about? How I just kept digging that hole for myself when I had my daughter. Back in the days, digging a hole for myself, moving forward with jobs. And then I got into another relationship and I kept digging that hole for myself, right? Digging a hole for myself until I ended up where I am now with this job. And don't get me wrong, I dug another hole for myself when I got to this job. I did. Dug another hole for myself. I did. But I am who I am because of my past experiences. And I realize that. I am who I am. So when I look back to the beginning of where this all started on my podcast, where I was real angry about a bunch of shit, nah, I handled that. Internally, I handled it. Do I still go through shit? Yeah, I do. Right? But again, with my family, to go back to them, to sum up this whole episode, the only way that we fix whatever's going on with us, accept me for who I am. And if you want to get into a conversation with me about something, you want to have a debate about something, or if you want to sit in a room and ask me a question, be prepared to hear my answer. And we're not going to bicker back and forth, because one thing I can do, I know I can do. Now I can. If somebody tell me an answer to a question that I asked them, cool. I'm going to go that way. That's cool. All right, that's how you feel. Feel how you feel. But if you want to challenge me on why I think the way that I think, I'm gonna go to war with you to the end. I will. Why I do what I do, I'm gonna go to war with you to the end. Life is bigger than just you or me. It's bigger. Things are getting worse in the world, man. The reason I am the way that I am now is because I see it all and I care. And I look for a bigger picture. I look for a bigger solution. This is part of my solution right now, right? Just part of it. Just talking. And even though YouTube don't allow my videos to get out there to the masses, because they don't allow stuff like this to reach people, they allow twerking videos to reach people all the time. They allow violence to reach people all the time, because I guess that's what the algorithm is looking for. Here, show these black people all this violence. Here, show these black people, all these people, these other black people arguing with each other. And show these black people, all these black people getting into it. Show these black people, all these black people doing all these violent things. That's the algorithm of life on social media now. It's just a bunch of ignorance, right? But this type of stuff, you don't really see it. I guess I got to do something shocking for people to see this video, but I'm not going to do that, man. I'll just stick to stick to my guns, and eventually y'all will share this stuff, man. But again, family, the only way we piece it up, love me and accept me for who I am, and I'll do the same for y'all. Before my battery dies, please smash that like button. Please subscribe to my channel. Please, the link to everything in the bottom of the to all my social media platforms is in the bottom of the description of the video. And if the camera stays on for a little bit longer, I'm gonna say this. Mom and Dad, I understand now. I get it. I went on a journey. I get it. I really do get it now. Why? And that's why I'm not as upset as I was before, looking back saying, man, y'all ain't do this for us or y'all ain't do that for us. Because I get it. Sometimes you have to go back to the source. You know how many different sources we have for everything that's wrong with all of us? And I'm not talking about just my family, your family too. Go back to the source, and then go back to the source of that source of that source. And I'm not just going to talk about and just write it off on slavery, because, I mean, if you don't know the source of the source of the source, you really don't know where it all started. And we can't just wrap it up and just say everything that happened to all of us is because of this one thing. You probably had a good generation in your family that did everything right. And then you had one bad apple that was born into the family. And that person probably had a bunch of kids and had a bunch of kids, and them kids had a bunch of kids, and they following off of that one person that broke the good cycle, right? Or you might have somebody that has a bad cycle in their family, bad generations after generation after generation, and then one good cycle comes along and changes the whole generation going forward. You never know. So check the source. So I understand why we were raised a certain way. And I remember talking to your mom one time, and you told me, you just did, you did what the best that you could, and you knew, and you did what you knew, right? And I get that now. I get it now. I look back and I think about all the struggles that we had growing up, and I remember my dad going to school, the trade school. I remember all of that, all the struggles, sugar water. I remember that. Sugar sandwiches with the butter on them. I remember that. I remember all of that. I remember all the roaches we had. I remember all of that. I know the struggle. I understand it now. And that's why I'm not upset anymore. Because I'm not going to look at y'all and say that y'all the sole reason for why everything is messed up, and I'm not going to say that everything is messed up, but y'all, like, if I look at y'all and say y'all the sole reason for why we are the way we are, that's not true, because y'all had moms and dads too, right? And I know some of the stories. If we go back, I've talked to people, so I know I got a good idea how things got to where they are. So again, I forgive y'all for everything, and if I did anything wrong to y'all, family, I apologize to y'all too. So, with that being said, man, that's going to be a wrap for this episode of Let's Talk Podcast, man. I want to let y'all out there know, man, that I love y'all, man. And if you have struggles in life, man, just keep on working on them. Just keep working. Keep working. Keep pushing forward. And I didn't talk about none of the topic that I wanted to cover today. But, again, this is where I've been, man. So, until the next one, my people, peace.